English translation 139. Contact Tuesday, 21st October 1980, 11:38 hours.
You have actually come with your new box. It looks quite impressive. What technical innovations does it have to exhibit?
You are rather disrespectful in reference to our technology. I am proud of this flying apparatus. With its new drive, which I will explain a little to you later, I have better possibilities than Father with his great spacer. Also, with this device, it is possible for me to dive directly into the past or future, but also to penetrate into other dimensions. The flight from my home world to Earth is reduced with this new flying apparatus to 0 time, which I will also explain to you at a later time.
Then this is a humdinger.
Certainly, even for us.
Then that means quite a lot.
Certainly.
And is this the box that I may soon photograph?
Of course, I spoke of this flying apparatus.
And is this now a standard type?
This flying apparatus is still a prototype, at least still for a week. After that, 350 units of the same kind will have already been supplied. This type of flying apparatus will gradually replace all other existing types of devices. Thus, it will become the standard type, as you said. In addition, the diameter amounts to 7 meters in size, like the existing flying apparatuses of this type. What can also be mentioned even further is that the next 3 size classes of our present flying apparatuses will also be replaced by this type. But they will differ in their sizes, which explains itself. They will include the sizes of 14, 21, and 28 meters, which will increase directly with planetary interests. We should already receive the first larger ships in less than a month.
Today, you really tell me some news. Can I also capture this on film?
Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:23 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:23 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:23 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:23 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:24 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:24 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer. Simyase's latest beam ship hovering over the center's car park. Photo 22.10. 1980, 11:24 Hares, Billy Edgeworth Albert Meyer.
I have only received permission for my own ship.
Does this mean that I can only ever capture one ship on film?
If I receive no other permission, then yes.
Also good, at least this, and this is quite impressive.
It might be possible for you that you can take good close-ups.
And what about the sounds?
That is also possible.
Fine, then the cake is indeed baked.
You speak nearly as well as earlier, before you began to neglect your psyche through all the annoyance. It means so much to me that you are on the way to a healthy improvement. In return, I only hope that no more setbacks will appear with the group members or by any other means that could endanger or destroy this health progress again. For you would react extremely sensitively to the slightest little thing in your present condition, as I already explained to you in our last conversation. Although the entire leadership method of the individual group members allows for no such conclusion or supposition, we have nevertheless learned that nothing is impossible when it comes to committing reckless and wrong actions. All too quickly, several of the group members forget that their own thoughts and actions very often lead to degeneration and wrong actions, which usually produces bad consequences for which they then are not able to bear the responsibility anymore. But, as already explained, it can be concluded from the present situation that such negative blunders and errors will not appear again soon. We arrived at this acceptance based on the test results, which were unexpectedly much higher than our assumption was. After all the events of recent years, it was expected that no single group member would receive a score higher than 1 point on the test. But this was a false assumption of ours because the best score was 4.5 points, while the lowest was 1.6. It might be because of the intensive study in recent weeks, but that alone does not explain these high scores.
This means that in all the past years and months,
A rather large amount of knowledge must have prevailed in the various group members. But this, in whatever form, makes it incomprehensible that ongoing gross violations, wrong actions, and disregards of all kinds have appeared. Here we are, faced with an absolute mystery, because it is completely illogical that a life form disposes of a fairly enormous amount of knowledge and knows the truth, but that same life form can still act completely wrongly.
This is also a mystery to me, not just you. I have already often tried to get to the bottom of this mystery, but so far, in vain.
We will fathom this in the course of time, but we cannot proceed, however, in our usual manner. The complete illogic of the group members in their thinking and acting places a tremendous task before us. For such tests, we also analyzed many other Earth humans and discovered the unfortunate and incomprehensible fact that also with them, the same illogical forms appear, but not in such a pronounced manner as with the group members. According to our first results, this may be due to the fact that these other tests do not come from people who are confronted with the truth and knowledge in such a manner as with the group members, who seem to be, to a large degree, very lofty towards outsiders. Any factor lies in the fact that they, on account of their attained knowledge, have become of the belief that they are worth more than outsiders, and that they are, thus, enabled to make their own decisions and implement them, which, unfortunately, then leads to wrong thoughts and actions. Through their adulthood, they have come to realize that they exhibit a different form of learning ability in contrast to children. They do not bring your ancient saying into constant remembrance that they must become like little children, otherwise the kingdom of the Spirit will remain closed to them.
Oh, I have said that many times before, but it has only been understood by a few.
Then you should perhaps explain this once again, especially now, because everything starts to turn to the advantage of all, and because now every single group member can truly strive.
I will follow your advice.
Good, because it is of necessity.
Yes, but now, one more question about the next tests. When should these be?
At the end of this month or at the beginning of next month.
Then it can still be before the last or after the first day of the month?
Sure, at the same time, I already thought of Sunday, which will be coming.
Human child, then you should immediately dictate the necessary questionnaire to me.
This still has time until Friday, for there will not be many questions.
Also good, and I will still keep to my study. It is really good for me, even though I am usually quite groggy afterwards.
I am glad to hear that from you. But now I still have to discuss the various matters with you, which are intended for you alone. However, it will take at least 2 hours.
I have enough time, so just open fire.